Welcome to Behind the Boot, a Louisiana sports podcast. Your favorite weekly show bringing you the latest news in Saints, Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and more. Enjoy the show.
What up? What up? Welcome back to Behind the Boot podcast, man. The special episode today, man. I think a lot of mixed emotions. We also coming off a little break. Had a few weeks off, but we definitely back to pumping out the content. And there's a lot of things I want to start off, good and bad. Like I said, there's a mixed emotions with the New Orleans sports right now, but fuck all the nonsense. We got to start off with the Pelicans tonight, man. If y'all watch this game, we recording this immediately after the Minnesota Timberwolves games, just for the people watching. Crazy performance from my guys. Crazy performance from Brandon Ingram. So before we get into like our actual topics, man, we gotta talk about BI. Just a hell of a performance, hell of a way to shut up the critics talking about he not clutch and free Brandon Ingram and all this other stuff, man. What y'all thought about tonight? I'm gonna start with Dan. What you thought about the game tonight? What you thought about Brandon Ingram?
At the end of the day, fellas, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. The Minnesota Timberwolves, man. We gotta dial up that.
Jerrette, I'm gonna start with you. He's starting off crazy. Jerrette, what did you think about Brandon Ingram and his game winner tonight?
Hey, watch your mouth. It's Brandon Kingram. Shout out to my man AD for saying on the broadcast.
Big 14,
Brandon
man.
Kingram. I am getting me a fucking BI jersey. That's it. I'm so
back, man. Big 14. You know what the fuck going on?
Take that fat bastard poster off the building in front of the Smoothie King Center and put on Brandon Kingram.
That's a fact. I actually tweeted that even before the game went. I tweeted that in the fourth quarter before the game wouldn't even happen. I said, bro, we gotta take all this Zion posters, the murals, take all that shit down, man. It's BI team. It's been BI team since he got here. He's a clear leader, not only talent wise, but I feel like everybody on the team respect Brandon Ingram as that leader. It's time to give that man his respect. So Dan, I'm gonna give you a second try because you gotta come with the respect.
Before Dan's stupidity, though, their ability is availability, and BI has been on the court ever since he's been here, except for that little stretch this season.
Yeah, I mean he had little short stretches, but every player have that, especially in the COVID era.
Now Dan can go with his blasphemy.
But let's hear what you thought, Dan.
I mean, fellas, all I'm saying is it was a Timberwolves. I mean, we're not talking about a top flight defending team here. He played a hell of a game. 31.
Man, they got a winning record. They like what, 20 and 14? Let me look this up, man.
They've been on a nice little streak lately.
I mean, 33 points, 6 for 7 from 3. I mean, God played a hell of a game. This guy, put it this way, man. When BI is efficient and when he's direct in what he wants to do offensively, when he's not like dribbling the ball too much, when he gets to a spot, he is an all-star. Like, I mean, borderline superstar, bro. Like, if he, like, catch and shoot like that, like, that was a shot I want BI taking. I don't want him, like, going across the court, dribbling and shooting a fadeaway on two people. Like, that was a shot I want him taking. And I think he can make that shot. So, that being said, God played a hell of a game, bro. I mean, I can't say nothing about it. I mean, it wasn't a 40 piece, but it was damn close. It was very efficient. Guy had, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. I mean, you can't get more efficient than that. I mean, the guy was all over the court. This guy played well in all aspects. I mean, I wouldn't say we played well at the defensive team today, but I think that goes to more credit of the type of scores they have in Minnesota because Ant-Man was literally looking motherfuckers in their face and drilling threes like he Steph. Like, I'm like, I know Ant-Man
he is a ball.
He like that. But that ball was, he sat there, I don't know if it was Josh, Might have been Josh Hart. He got the ball in the wing. He looked Josh in his face for like 5 seconds and shot in the grill, and it was nothing but net. I'm like, wow. Like that shit is crazy.
I can accept that though. Like I feel like Anthony Edwards, even though he's still early in his career, I look at him as one of them that's like when Dame do some crazy like step back, hit a crazy three. Like you just gotta live with that. I view Ant as one of them niggas. You know what I mean? But just so I can backtrack because I want to stick with the theme of no Brandon Ingram slander will be tolerated on any level. We're gonna had to rewind back to when you was talking about that it was against the Timberwolves and it was a better shot. First off, they was 20-20 sitting in the playoff standings, so that's a playoff team at 500. That was a good win,
though, bro. That was a good win. 28th in defensive rating.
But then you gotta look at this. These dudes were scoring at a crazy rate, both sides.
Top 5 offense, man.
Like they ranked number 1 in 3 points attempted per game. So they a shooting team. Like that was a good win. I like that win, especially coming off of getting smashed twice early in the year versus them. Mm-hmm. So very good win. And then because I feel like this is real important. When you mentioned that was the shot you like them taking versus the fadeaway on 2 people, you referring to last year Brandon Ingram. And there was a key point that I got to point out about that game winner. Josh Okogie was so worried about that ball going inside to Valanciunas that he just left Brandon Ingram out there in no man's land. Last year, there was no other option. There was just, they knew, okay, B.I. got to force up a shot. You can't pass it to nobody because everybody ass. Everybody. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference between last season and this season. And just being in position to even be able to hit a game winning shot. Last year, I feel like they would have been getting smoked in that game. So I like it.
Wolves on a 4-game win streak.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I know their opponents wasn't. I mean, they beat the Thunder twice. They beat the Clippers, but I mean, still a 4-game winning streak. They was on a
Go fucking Pels, man. Take
exactly.
flight.
No, flock
up, man. But I do wanna get into our more solid topics because that game right there marked the halfway point of the season for us. Obviously, we had a rough start. We started 1-14, and since that stretch, we've been seeing consistent improvement. If you break the season down in 10-game stretches, they've improved every stretch. What's some of the biggest positives that y'all have seen? And I'm gonna start with Jerrette on this one. What's some of the biggest positives that you noticed so far since like the 1-14 start? And what's some of the keys that you think if we gonna get into that play-in, who has to step up? Who's one of the most, outside of Brandon Ingram, who is the most important piece?
My opinion is I feel like the most important aspect of the turnaround since the 1-14 start is players is actually that they're starting to know each other. Like they're starting to actually build team chemistry. Like I don't know if y'all remember, but I said beginning of the season it's going to take a while to build that team chemistry and for them to start knowing, where each other likes the ball, where they like the ball, like all, their comfortable spots. I mean, let's face it, it's basically a new team, So of course they have to find each other, comfy spots for them to be comfortable to be able to contribute inside the game. So I think that's the most crucial aspect of the turnaround. And part 2 of your question, I feel like we need better guard play in order to really turn around and make an actual push to be in the playoffs. We need Devontae to be more consistent. He's a streaky shooter, like you said earlier, but we need more consistency from him. We need him to actually be a point guard when we need it and to actually knock down his shots throughout the whole game, not just in the fourth quarter or in the first quarter. Need him and we need, I don't know, Nall needs to turn around or start giving his minutes to Jose Alvarez, bro. Alvarado.
Yeah. Nall had a good game tonight, though. Like, I think that was probably his second. And I also tweeted this during the game, but I was like, this is Nall's second best game of his career. Yeah. Obviously, the Clippers game we dropped 40 was number one. We still have yet to see that Nall come back. But I think overall, and even this game, I feel like he had a better overall game than that game. He didn't score 40, but defensively, he was great. Offensively, he made the right decisions. He made some key assists in the right situation. Like, I feel like, and I hate to say this with Nall because I feel like he gonna have this game, and then it might be 20 games before he have another good one. But I feel like something clicking with him. Like he learning when to draw it back. Like when good things happen, he not turning into a ham. You know what I'm saying? Where he just, one shot fall for him, and now he think he Steph Curry. Right. That's been his downfall throughout this whole year.
And I know that Joel and AD pointed out on the broadcast that when he's not shooting threes, whenever he's not chunking up threes like he's Steph Curry, he's the best version of himself. Like actually driving, making layups, or creating for others. That's the best version of Nall. And then when he gets himself started, then it's okay for you to, shoot a three. Like, don't let the three be your overall game. You know what I'm saying? Let the game come to you. And that's the best version of Nall.
Yeah, well, and to his credit, because I know a lot of people, myself included, like we all shit on Nall, but I think a lot of the reason for that is the style of play that they played under SVG. Like where everybody was just kind of posted up in the corner, and when they got the ball, he wanted them taking the shot. Whereas now with Willie Green, the offense is more, I want you to make the right decision. So it's taking them some time to learn how to make the right decision. But if I'm basing my opinion off of this game, I think he's figuring something out because he shot threes and he made threes, but he shot them at the right moment. And I think like if I had to answer that question, I would say Nikhil is going to be one of the most crucial points moving forward. Because if we can get even 70% of tonight from him just on a consistent basis, we making the play in. Like, I think it'll be real hard for us not to make it if Nall keep playing like this. And notice down the stretch, Devontae Graham was on the bench and Willie ran the lineup with Nall. Just pointing that out. Like, he played that well tonight. But on the flip side of that, this is my question for Dan. What's some of the which there's a lot of them, but what would you say is the most or the biggest negative for the Pelicans so far this season? And how do they correct that issue in order to get into the play-in? Because it's there. Like it's there for us to take if we can turn the corner. So what you think they need to be focusing on for the second half of the year?
I mean, obviously, is the inconsistency in shooting. I mean, the dry spells is clearly still a thing for this team. So they just go through too many stretches of just dribbling the ball and getting three-point happy. And when the three-point shot not falling, the offense gets stagnant. And then they start doubling Jonas. The spacing is messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's just Jarrett Clark has been a revelation. They actually put him somewhere that actually can hit an open shot. It's just when they're not hitting them, when Temp can't hit none, or, when they have Alvarado by himself, or, people that they're leaving wide open can't hit a shot, it gets really tough for us to score because they double our best players as soon as they get the ball. Like BI got a box and one all game. Jonas touched the ball in the post. He was getting doubled immediately. So these players, Devontae and G-Temp, Nall, Clark, I mean, they got to hit shots. I mean, it's, like I said, the NBA is a make-or-miss league, bro. I mean, if you ain't hitting them, you're going to lose. And if you're making them, then that's still only half the battle. You still got to play defense. But you definitely going to lose if you can't hit those shots. The other thing is we still have some lapse in focus at times, defensively, especially in the fourth quarter. They do like around Van Fleet. I don't think Van Fleet. I like Van Fleet a lot. Got a smooth game, but sorry. I mean, I figured if we could kind of contain Anthony Edwards to 25 points, but he was heating up a little bit. I mean, I think we should be able to get the ball to Van Fleet's hands and deny him. I mean, we got to be able to deny Van Fleet the ball, make somebody else beat us. Like, that was the only guy on Toronto. Like, he went on a 9-0 run the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter of the night. And we just can't have that. We can't have one man beat us. And I just think that, eventually somebody got to step up, which is usually hurt. But, hey, look, this guy not getting the ball. Like, if he get the ball up, he ain't getting the ball back. Like, we going to make somebody else shoot. So I think just that will kind of hold us back a little bit. But really, I think it's just the shooting, just the consistency of able to hit shots on a nightly basis. And, I mean, if we can shoot, I mean, you can see the record, man. I don't know what the exact win-loss record the past 20 games, but I know we're above 500. I know we was 10-7, a couple of games ago. So we probably right about 11-10, 12-10 around there. We're around that in the past 22 games. So
for sure, definitely improved.
And if we 500, I mean, 500 at this point, that's the play-in. That's top 9 seed if you're a 500 record in the West right now. So you in the top 10. So that's all you really hope for. So as long as we can stay consistent and win more games, we're gonna have to go on a little run to make the play-in. To me, like, kind of make up a little bit of ground. I mean, not a crazy run, but a couple of 3-4 game winning streaks in that sprinkled in for us to really make it, and I think we'll be all right. But that's the only thing that worries me, bro. Just the shooting, and are we going to get anything out of Trey Murphy? I mean, he can really be a big help, with his length and him being able to shoot the ball a little bit. I think he can be a great floor spacer. I mean, he's 6'10". We can play him at the 4. Have Jackson at the 5. On the bench and everything. I think that could really be a good lineup with Jose and, just have some score on the floor. But I don't know, man. I really think we got a very, very good chance of making the play in, and we could just stay the course and keep on improving.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm looking at the standings right now. We 15-26 with a 37% win percentage. The 10 spot is 40%. So, Trailblazers got 16 wins. We got 15. Like, it's there. They just gotta finish strong. Like, I think if you can play the rest of the year at around 500, that might be good enough to get you in. And then you never know, man. Looking at playoff time, Zion might be ready. If you get him back, that's definitely an added bonus, a huge added bonus. You know what I mean? Like, as far as scoring, like, I think that'll open up things for a lot of people. You know what I mean? You stop getting them looks where they, the whole team guarding Brandon Ingram, and every time Jonas get the ball, he doubled. Like, that'll definitely help some of that stuff out. So if we able to sneak into that, it's looking good for the Pelicans. But I do want to ask y'all about going into the All-Star break. Is there any doubt that Brandon Ingram should be an NBA All-Star this year? I'm gonna start with Jerrette.
My answer. Brandon Ingram should definitely be an All-Star, but of course it's a fan vote, and of course, with the record being what it is, the only people that's really voting for BI is us fans. So I know I put my vote. I tweeted this like the tweet a couple of times, but it's only a matter of no one else is. We're not really getting exposure. I mean, they just canceled one of our, main games on the TNT and replaced us. So they're not getting no national television exposure, so that means BI is not, showing the world on, a national televised game what he's doing. And that sucks because it's going to cost a man the All-Star. I mean, hopefully the coaches and the players can vote him in, as a reserve, I'm hoping. But him being an actual starter, I don't think he's going to do it just because of the record.
Yeah, see, and my thing is, like, I'm looking at the current, like, vote count for, the front court in the Western Conference, and just looking at the forwards, man, like, LeBron James, he gonna get it. Like, we don't even have to debate about LeBron James. But everybody else on this list, bro, as far as forwards, Brandon Ingram is better than. Like, I'm gonna just name who's in as of now. So you got Paul George, number 3. Like, Brandon Ingram is better than Paul George. Like, let's stop the cap. Like, this dude been injured. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brandon Ingram has been producing more than Paul George. Like, you can have your personal preference on who you think is the more talented player. Now, that's the actual debate. But this season, Brandon Ingram is better than Paul George. Number 4 is Andrew Wiggins. Not even entertaining that. Brandon Ingram is better than Andrew Wiggins. I don't care how well he's been playing, how big he's been stepping up for Golden State. Brandon Ingram is better than Andrew Wiggins. Brandon Ingram is also better than Draymond Green. Brandon Ingram is also better than Anthony Davis, who is number 6. Brandon Ingram is for sure better than Carmelo Anthony, who, correct me if I'm wrong, but ain't he coming off the bench? Yes. How's a bench player number 8 in the Western Conference vote?
Fan vote, bro.
Come
That's
on,
what I'm
bro.
saying. It's just about the fans, bro.
Come on, bro. If somehow BI gets left off of this list, I'm gonna be completely done with the NBA. But between the refereeing and this, the NBA just really it's nonsense, man.
It's terrible.
Dude's voted a bench player in over Brandon Ingram.
I don't even know what they be looking at, bro. Honestly, I just don't get it.
He can still get in. The players or the coaches is gonna have to vote him in as a reserve. He's not gonna make the starting 5 because, I think it's the starting 7, something like that. Whatever it is, that's all fan votes. But he can still make it as like a reserve.
Which is cool, man.
Vote for AD and AD been out 3/4.
And when he been in, he hasn't been good. That's my thing.
Shit.
Like, he hasn't even
Paul
been
George.
Good.
Paul George been hurt too.
Yeah,
Paul George actually balling before he got hurt.
But he was balling, but he hasn't been. He's been out. As of recent.
It's just the fan vote. They heavily populated, bro. You know how they do them Lakers fans, bro. Those Lakers and LA fans, all they do is just sit down there and just vote for some stupid shit like Carmelo.
That is crazy, bro. It's just the front court. It's 2 Warriors, 3 Lakers. That take up the whole 10 right there. But now we gonna move over. I want to kind of bring it to I guess a lower note, depending on how you want to look at it. But the Saints season ended Sunday. Before we even get into anything, I just want to give a big fuck you to the entire Los Angeles Rams organization. But with that aside, I do wanna talk about just the season as a whole. What y'all thought about the year? There's a lot of chatter, and I'm gonna start with Dan. So there's a lot of chatter about what quarterback people want to see come in. I look back at Jameis' performance in a little bit of time that we did get to see him. Where do you think we should go for next year? And what's your predictions? Do you think we take a step forward next season, or is it more of the same?
Before I get to that, I would like to pay my respects to the St. Louis, Missouri people. It was a good thing the Los Angeles Rams left because that organization would have shamed your city. And I'm glad LA is taking the heat for the pathetic an embarrassment of performance by that whole team. Aaron Donald, you can eat a dick. Matthew Stafford, with your noodle arm, you suck. Odell, you from LSU, you had a touchdown. I can respect it. Matt Stafford his ass. Okay, let's go ahead and go through now. Jameis should absolutely be the first look you get. Because number one, you really can't afford anybody else. Number two, I love the way this really the Louisiana community has been catering and coming together with these two organizations with the Pelicans. I've never seen so much of love like for two organizations like this sports calendar year of mediocre teams. I've never seen so much love.
That's a fact.
The outpouring of love. And I'm going to say this, Jameis had us a winning record, so he wasn't mediocre. So I'm going to say that. But
what was he, 5-1?
Just 5-2.
5-2.
About to be 6-2. About to beat Tom Brady's ass. But anyways, I still give him that win. But 5-2 is a starter. 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Like, I mean, that ratio, man. I mean, that's in 7 games. Another 7 games, what, plus 8? When you're looking at what, 30? What I told y'all, 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions at the beginning of the year when we started this podcast. When we started,
yeah.
I mean, he was on track for that, man. So I think Jameis would have at least had a 3 seed. I think would have been, around that 11-5, 12-4 range, easily. I don't think we dropped the game to Tennessee with Jameis. I think we beat Tennessee. I think we beat Atlanta. Like the first time around, like I really think our fortunes would have been changed around. But I just really think we just got to go with James, man. And if we can't go with Jameis, I hate to dare say it, but I think Taysom showed me enough to where he could actually win us some games. Would he be able to stay healthy? That's another question. But I just don't think we can afford enough, man. I don't see what way we'd have to gut our roster to be able to afford Deshaun or Russell Wilson. We'll have to send multiple players and multiple picks over to Seattle for Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson price would be too high. Deshaun, maybe you might get a bargain deal for him. Maybe you can throw in hit to say maybe a Cam Jordan, maybe a Marcus Davenport, maybe somebody come off a contract here, give him an extension, and maybe like a Marcus Williams with a first round pick. Maybe they might do it. But do you really want to gut your entire defense for one quarterback?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No. And then how high would the actual because obviously I do think Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Jameis Winston.
That's a difference maker, man.
Honestly. Not by much. I don't think he would be worth the price tag that would come with it. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you run it back with Jameis, you'll get the same effect. You know what I mean? Just with the way our team is set up.
I think Deshaun, Kamara, and my healthy Michael Thomas, man. I think that's deadly, bro. Like I don't think Deshaun will.
I think you can say the same thing about Jameis Winston, Kamara, and Michael Thomas. Me personally, I know that's not the popular opinion, but I think you just
for the price. I think for the price. I mean, but just Deshaun and Sean Payton offense, like with a quarterbacks coach, man, that could be some fireworks with that. Just Sean with any. Let me go ahead and say this: Sean with any quarterback, gonna have some fireworks because he's got the obvious QB whisperer. If he can make something out of fucking,
TC,
he couldn't make. I mean, he couldn't make. The only thing he couldn't do was make chicken salad out of chicken shit with Ian Book. But I don't really blame Ian Book. It was a bad situation. We shouldn't have even played the game.
Toss Ian to the wolves.
And that was
I can't even judge Ian on that
because this guy was getting busted up out there, bro. It didn't make no sense. This guy snapped the ball, bro.
Last name, he was getting booked.
God, and then the Dolphins just sit in the house, bro. They're disrespectful, bro. Those guys not let up, bro. But
yeah.
I mean, I think we're in a better situation. I think we keep the defense together, solve a couple of our cap issues, running back with Jameis. Look like he's ahead of schedule, so he should be 100% by training camp. And let me see where to roll, man. Maybe Michael Thomas will be back for OTA. Maybe he's participating. I don't know. I ain't seen the dude post nothing about him or his body, and God knows how long. For all I know, he could be fat as Zion. He might be 285.
No, he's in shape. He's on the sideline.
But hopefully he's pretty good. He was there. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, so, he's on the sideline.
If he's ready to go, man. I mean, Troutman actually had a bounce back half of the season after he came back from injury. He finally looked like a comparable tight end. He's competent out there, is making catches and shit. We always knew he could block if he could catch the goddamn ball. So obviously he shook that back, and I mean we got an offense, man. We could just stay healthy in the offensive line. As you can see, everybody and mama got hurt. Everybody on the offensive line missed time except that garbage. Little Cesar Ruiz, because that boy's some trash, man.
that was a waste of a pick, bro.
That boy was like, cannot block. He can't pass block. He can't run block. I just don't know what he good at. I mean,
I don't know how he made it to the league, bro.
He needs to be a center.
That dude is bad.
I just think he got to be playing out of position. The only way I can see him, man, he's just playing out of position. He was a center. Maybe it's just the position, man. Maybe he just can't get it.
Maybe he needs to be in the XFL.
Because he was a good player at Michigan, bro. He was a great player, like really good. But he's garbage right now.
Man, that game, he took McCall's spot when McCall was there, like in the beginning of the season. He played center. Yeah. He did pretty good. He just they're not gonna. Eric McCall is an All Pro, so they're not gonna switch Eric McCall just for Caesar Root trash for him to be comfortable. They'll trade him before they move Eric McCall.
Yeah.
So I just don't know, bro. Like we gotta get something out of that dude, man. We can't just have this motherfucker not. Oof. We gotta get something out of that dude.
I got a question for y'all. Tough question. Andrews Pete or Cesar Ruiz?
I'm taking Pete. I'm sorry, bro. That's like an easy one to me.
They both shitty.
Because as bad as Pete is, at least there's shit that he can do. Like Ruiz can't do nothing, bro. Like he'd be looking lost. Bro, it was a couple games ago. I forget who he was playing, but it was just this play where he didn't even attempt to block nobody. Like it was an immediate sack, bro. Like that type of shit can't happen. Like what a ball snap and you just don't even attempt nothing. Like you didn't even try to do anything. I could see if you try and just suck.
Yeah,
but at least try, bro.
I think Pete played better at left tackle than he did. I just think Pete not no guard. I mean, I hate to say it, but what we do with Taron though? Do we let Taron go? Maybe keep Pete out to tackle, maybe, man. Maybe get a guard.
I think it depends on his price tag. If he wants to come back at like a reasonable price, I think they resign him. But if somebody offer him like some type of big ass monstrous contract, then the Saints just let him go because they got to shed $60 million to get underneath the cap to begin with, and they got to re-sign Taron, got to re-sign Marcus. What you do with Marcus Williams? Like you got to choose. So I think if Taron want to come back on like a,
I hope he just come back.
Team friendly contract, then he'd be back. It's just when he's healthy, that dude is a top 5 tackle in the league with him and Ramczyk. But it's just when he's on the field.
He can't stay on the field. That's the problem.
Just can't stay on the field the whole season, bro. That's the only bad thing. Do you really want to give that type of money to Taron? You know what he is already. He's gonna miss a handful of games every year. So do you really want to tie up that type of money to him? Is the big question.
Are we rolling with a Debo with our starting cornerback next year? Or
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You gotta go the cheap way, bro. You got to.
And not only the cheap way, but I do think that it started coming together for him at the back half of the year.
Yeah.
Like he started the year off kind of rocky. He had certain games where, because teams, you could tell was in their game plan, pick on him. He's the rookie corner. There was tons of footage of him getting cooked before, so he getting picked on. And you can't really pick on Lattimore, like that's lockup. You know what I'm saying? So I think overall, Debo is the way to go. Like I like him. You know what I'm saying? I think he got a future.
Especially a full off season. A full off season for him to prepare and like to train. I think it'd be good. Because remember, he was coming off a COVID season. Like he didn't play like his senior, well not senior year, but the year before he went to a draft. He opted out. So
Right.
he was coming from an opt-out season straight to the NFL.
And I'll tell you what, one of them underrated injuries that really hurt us in the middle of the season when we lost CD Deuce, bro.
Ah, yeah.
That's
Our
a
defense
fact.
lost a little swagger, bro.
That's a
But
fact.
that guy is a shit talker, bro.
Hey,
you know what?
Bring the energy, bro. I like that.
You know what I was gonna say? He is the Josh Hart of the Saints defense.
Oh,
that's a fact.
Facts.
That's a fact.
He bring that energy.
I was saying the other day, bro. No disrespect to Drew Brees, but my favorite Saint of all time is CD Deuce, bro. Easy money. Favorite Saint of all
The
time.
funniest thing that dude tweeted to be like about tweeted Cox Communications and said, "Come get your box and serve his ass." And Cox tweeted back at him, be like, "We're sorry, Mr. CG. We'll send someone out immediately." Nah, he said nah.
That's funny.
Boy, that was so funny, bro. That was some funny shit.
But real quick, Jerrette. So obviously, looking at the season as a whole, it definitely proved Murphy's Law to be correct. And for anybody who not familiar with Murphy's Law, is anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So, just in your opinion, where would you have put us in the rankings if Jameis stays healthy the entire year? If Michael Thomas don't play out like he did, if we actually got to see him at some point in the year, where would you put the Saints? What would you think it would be looking like for us right now?
I think I gotta go with what Dan said, 12-4. I mean, why not? It was 5-2 with him, and Sean was starting to open up a playbook. Like, can you imagine? That was without Michael Thomas. Could you imagine if we would have had Michael Thomas, another weapon?
Yeah.
I mean, and not to mention, let's not forget that AK also missed, that was 4 games in a row he missed.
Yeah.
So that also played a part in it. So, like, if we would have been fully healthy, why not 12-4? Like,
even slightly healthy. If we would have just had a normal year as far as injuries, but between injuries and COVID, bro, we never played with a real team the whole year.
Because, like Dan said, we would have won that Titans game if we would have had James. No doubt, we would have won that game. We would have won the Falcons game. Start off slow that game too. Like, what else? Who else they lost to?
The loss for me that stick out is the Giants game.
It would have beat the Dolphins.
That Giants game we should have won that. That
was Sean's fault, man. That was Sean's fault. Sean was calling a terrible game plan, bro. He just was. I didn't even know about that game.
I feel like we would have beat. I feel like we would have had a bad chance to beat the Cowboys too.
Yep.
I mean, that game was like in our grasp. Like Taysom just hurt his finger and like threw 5 interceptions and still only lost by 10.
Yeah.
But like that Eagles game, 40-29. Like that's an outlier. And every year the Saints have those duds they put up, but I feel like they would have won that game, and I feel like we would have beat the Dolphins too. So Overall, though, I'm happy with the way it ended. With all this shit that happened with COVID and all the injuries piling up, and these guys still damn near made it to the playoffs with 4 different starting quarterbacks at the helm. Like, I think they set a record for like the most starters like played throughout the whole season. I think there's like 58. They had 58 different players start for that team throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you still almost made the playoffs, and that's just because Matthew Stafford is a fuck up that can't seem to get his shit together. That you can take the man out of Detroit, but you can't take the Detroit out of him. He is always going to be a Detroit Lion because he sucks. Fuck the Rams.
Yeah. That was bad, man. And I think just to circle back to what Dan was saying earlier when he talked about how, this season has just, especially with us being mediocre in both sports, like you just see all the love is because for both teams, bro, it's been crazy adversity and they still somehow, because to me, bro, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year Zion out for the season, I wouldn't even watch. You know what I mean? But yet somehow they in the hunt. Like tonight, that was some of the best basketball I've seen them play all year. You know what I mean? Like the Saints did the same thing. They was hit with all these injuries, 4 different starters at quarterback, and they still found themselves in the hunt for the playoffs. And then won the game they needed to win. It was just in the hands of the Rams, and we know what happened there. But like I like what I saw at the Saints this year. I think if we have a healthy season, even just a fairly healthy season next year, because I mean injuries is part of the game. But like I said before, man, anything that could have went wrong for them this year, it went wrong. Like any possibility of something going wrong, it went wrong. So I like the fight that I saw out of them, man. Did y'all have anything else y'all want to speak on just as far as the Saints season?
I mean, I'm proud, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, I know it's disappointing we didn't make the playoffs, but I mean, overall, I'm a proud Saints fan, man. I'm not gonna hang my head. I mean, I knew possibly could have been the transition year, but it kind of forced us to have a transition year with all these injuries. But I mean, as far overall, man, I mean, I'm proud, man. They fought in every game. I mean, they really ain't got blown out like that, but the fight,
Yeah,
man,
man.
you love to see it.
And look, I'll say this because I got the same attitude toward the season. Like I'm low key, like, and I know this kind of messed up to say, but I'm glad they didn't make the playoffs just because I feel like if they would have, heartbreak would have been unavoidable. Like they was gonna lose in some crazy shit. But just as a whole, I'm proud of the fact that most teams, when they lose a Hall of Fame QB like that, like it send them into this rebuild era where they got to figure something else out. And not only did we lose Drew Brees, but we was just ravaged by COVID and injuries. And they still found a way to like, it was a meaningful year. You know what I mean? Like it showed us like, all right, this team is still the Saints. Like regardless of whatever, happened with Drew Brees and COVID and all this other stuff, we still a top team in the league. Now, unfortunate crap happened, but I like the fight that I saw for him. And hopefully we'll have that same kind of story with the Pelicans this year.
Not to mention, though, they also lost a lot of free agents, too, because they had to shed a lot of cap. Can you imagine if we still had Trey Hendrickson? Can we had Sheldon Rankins and Malcolm Brown, the D-line, rotating in and out. I feel like Emmanuel Sanders could have helped our receiving core like a hell of a lot better than fucking Tre'Quan Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, can't stay on the field.
Yeah. So I feel like I hate him so much.
Another one.
Tre'Quan balled in that last game, though.
He did, but another guy that dare I say, and guys, I hate this guy so much, but even Jared Cook would have made a fucking difference at tight end. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's just so much, like you said, so much shit went wrong, so much players that left.
But something with Sean, man, I don't know what it is with him. I don't give a fuck if you would have paid Jawan Johnson at wide receiver. Like, we need him on the goddamn field. Like, he just like was DNP for like 4 games. Like what is that? Like no excuse. When we don't have any goddamn pass catchers, bro. Like it had to be something else, bro. He had to tell Sean, "Fuck you, you a bitch," something, because for you just not to get any clock when we ain't got no goddamn receivers anyways, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm definitely not sad about the year. Like I think they did all what they can do, and they even exceeded what I would have expected given the circumstances, man. But I think that's it for this week, man. It was definitely a good episode. It was good to be back. For the people that's watching, man, we appreciate y'all dropping in and watching. Comment on the show. Let us know, what y'all think we got right, what y'all want to see from the Pelicans throughout the rest of the year. Comment if y'all think if Brandon Ingram should be an all-star as well. And I'm gonna put in social media handles in the description. So if y'all want to follow, I know I'm real active during Pels games. So if y'all want to talk shit during the Pels game with me, I'm gonna put all that stuff in the description and everything. But y'all like the video, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and we'll be back for y'all next week.